What do you grow in the garden tubs and where did you get them? I get to make another gardening video? Let's go. Okay, I have different size tubs and different kind of tubs for different things. These giant buckets with PVC pipe going down to the bottom of them, these are called wicking tubs. They are a little more complicated, but not that bad. These are syrup tubs that farmers have that they feed their cattle with. If you live around farms that have cows, just get on your next door or something like that and say, does anybody have any used syrup tubs they're wanting to get rid of? I had a farmer say, I've got 6 that I'm ready to get rid of. Come and get them. And so I did. I just went over there and picked them up. They're called wicking tubs because there's hardware cloth in the bottom of them. What we have is there's some drainage tube in the very bottom, and then we put the hardware cloth on top of it and then cover it in soil. The PVC pipe is to water from the bottom up. And when it comes to any type of garden tub or bucket, you need to have drainage holes so that you don't get root rot. So any type of container, you don't want to go right to the bottom, but you want to be like a few inches up so that it can drain and still hold water. That way the soil can kind of wick the water off the bottom and kind of pull it up towards the roots. And these guys are tree pots from a nursery. A lot of times you can call into like tree nurseries and say, hey, do you have any old pots that you want to get rid of? Sometimes they'll be a little banged up, but that's okay. They'll still work. And you don't have to put any drainage holes in these because they already have them. The downside is the drain holes are in the bottom so that they don't hold water as well as the wicking tubs. And the tree pots come in lots of different sizes. Like I've got everything from a 10-gallon all the way up to those things I believe are 30 gallons. Now, what do I grow in them? Just about anything that you would grow in the ground. You can even grow trees in them if you're renting or something and you might want to move someday. Last year in the big tree pots, I grew tomatoes. In these pots, I grew mostly peppers and miscellaneous stuff. I just realized on my fence there's some green beans I never harvested from this tub. Oh, I was wrong. They aren't green beans, they're black-eyed peas. By the way, if you're looking for something that puts out a lot of food really fast, green beans, or any type of beans really, or peas. Over on this side, I grew mostly eggplants and squashes. Eggplants and squash tend to do very well in the buckets also. But you can grow pretty much anything. Onions, spinach, lettuces, carrots, broccoli. And you don't have to fill them completely up with soil if you want to, if you think that that's going to be too expensive. Usually if I have some old firewood, I kind of cut it up and put it down in the bottom of it because it's going to biodegrade and it's going to turn into soil eventually. Or do you have any old food scraps? You could throw that in the bottom of it and then cover it up with soil. In fact, I do that all the time. I keep this container on my kitchen counter to collect organic food scraps. And when it gets full, I take it out to the garden. Now I have a compost tumbler, but I don't use it all the time because it needs time to turn into compost. But you don't need a compost tumbler. You can just pull back your soil, and once it's dug out, just kind of add your food scraps and cover it back up. And this will make amazing soil later. Not only is it good for the garden, it's good for the planet overall, because if it goes to the landfill, it turns into methane, which is not good for the environment. Plus, it eventually turns into free soil, so who wouldn't want that? Anyway, I hope I was able to answer your question and I didn't go too far overboard with explaining. I sometimes rattle on and do that since I'm neurodivergent. Anyway, if y'all like these type of gardening videos, let me know and I'll continue to make them. I mean, the spring is on its way. I'll have plenty to show you.